Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're cracking open the world of Snapchat for business, looking ahead to 2025. We've been digging into some recent material that explores how this platform has, well, really changed and why it seems to be becoming, a serious contender for brands now.
Exactly. And I think our aim here for this deep dive is to kind of cut through maybe some older ideas you might have about Snap
Yeah.
and really zero in on the key insights from this material. We want to show the potential that's being talked about and maybe more importantly, the actual practical steps to, use it for your business now.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yep.
Because, you might still think of Snapchat as just, I don't know, teenagers sending funny faces back and forth.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it. But the picture painted in this material is, well, it's a lot more interesting, potentially profitable for businesses. So let's start with a big why. Why should you even be thinking about Snapchat for business today?
Well, first off, the sheer numbers are pretty eye-opening. The material highlights 414 million daily active users around the world.
Wow.
And that number, it's still climbing. It hasn't plateaued.
414 million daily.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
But like you said, the material stresses, it's not just the number, it's who those users are.
Precisely. Yeah. The analysis is really clear. Snapchat has this incredible hold on the under 35 crowd. We're talking Gen Z, Millennials primarily.
Audiences that can sometimes be, well, tricky to reach effectively elsewhere.
Definitely.
And, okay, here's a detail from the material that honestly made me pause. Gen Z users apparently open the app up to 40 times a day.
40 times. Yep.
40. I mean, if that doesn't kind of blow up the idea of it being just a casual, fleeting thing, I don't know what does. That's serious engagement.
And the source material explains this isn't just random. The platform's made some very deliberate moves. It's evolved, built out features specifically for marketing, for commerce. It's really shifted into being a serious business tool.
Yeah, there's even this comparison chart they included that positions Snapchat quite interestingly, doesn't it?
It does. It frames it as, the place for those younger demographics.
Right.
With super high daily opens, like you said, that 40 times a day thing, but also a really low ad spend to get started, just $5 a day.
$5? Seriously?
Yeah, $5 a day minimum, and potentially, higher organic reach for newer brands compared to maybe some older platforms where organic reach is just, much harder now.
Okay, so if you're maybe a small business or a digital brand or really anyone wanting to connect with that younger audience, the way this material describes it, there are now real benefits and crucially accessible tools.
Exactly. That's the key takeaway. It's become much more accessible.
So let's get into those specifics. What are the core advantages highlighted in the material?
Okay, so a really big one seems to be the public profile for business.
Right, I saw that mentioned.
Yeah, and think of this less like your disappearing daily story and more like a permanent findable spot for your brand on Snapchat.
A brand homepage, almost.
Kind of, yeah. You can tell your story, show off products, highlight special offers. And it supports things like publish stories anyone can see, AR lenses tied to your profile, save stories that are more like evergreen content.
Okay.
And even, yes, the ability to have a native shop right there.
Shop in Snapchat. Wow, okay. That definitely changes the game from the old days. So once you have this profile, how does the material say you figure out, who's seeing it and what's actually working?
That's where the advanced analytics come into play. The material really dives into the kind of data you get now. You get detailed audience demographics, insights into engagement, real-time tracking for your campaigns. It's not just basic views. It's data that helps you actually understand who's connecting and then, tweak your strategy. What's fascinating here is just how robust these analytics seem to have become. It really helps you see the ROI.
And the ads themselves, the creative side. Sounds like that's expanded too.
Oh, absolutely. The material covers a whole range of creative ad formats built for how people use Snap. So you've got your standard Snap ads, full screen, vertical, designed to grab attention fast.
Right.
Then story ads, where you can string multiple snaps together for like a longer narrative.
Okay.
And then the really interesting ones, AR lenses, those interactive filters.
Yeah, the ones everyone plays with.
Exactly. And the material really hammers home their potential for going viral, for organic sharing, because people actively engage with them. And there are also collection ads, which let users swipe through different products, great for e-commerce.
Those AR lenses do sound like a powerful way to get shared. But okay, budget. You mentioned $5, but ads usually sounds expensive.
And that's where the material brings good news, especially for smaller businesses. Flexible budgets. Like we said, you can genuinely start testing with just $5 a day.
That really lowers the barrier.
Completely. You don't need this massive upfront investment. Start small, see what works, then scale if you're getting results.
And if you do decide to spend more, how targeted can you get? Can you reach the right people?
The advanced targeting options they outline are pretty detailed. You've got the standards: age, location, interests, device type, but you can also upload your own customer lists, from your CRM.
Custom audiences.
Yeah, exactly. And to create lookalike audiences based on those customers to find new people. So yeah, you can get quite focused.
And tracking it all. Seeing if someone actually buys something after seeing an ad.
Yep. That's covered under the real-time analytics and optimization. It tracks views, swipe ups, but also conversions. They specifically call out the Snap Pixel.
Like a Facebook pixel.
Essentially, yeah.
Yep.
A bit of code for your website. It lets Snapchat track what users do after clicking your ad, visiting a page, adding to cart, buying something.
Gotcha.
So that gives you that end-to-end picture, and it lets you do retargeting, showing ads again to people who've already visited your site.
Okay, so the potential seems clear. The tools are apparently there. Budget's not necessarily a killer. But setting up on a new platform always feels like, another thing to learn. Does the material give a clear roadmap?
It really does, yeah. It includes what they call a no-nonsense beginner-friendly walkthrough, just step by step.
Okay, good. Because here's where it gets really interesting for anyone listening who's thinking, all right, maybe, but how do I actually do this?
Right. So step one is pretty basic. Create a personal Snapchat account. Just download the app, sign up, name, birthday, phone. The key thing they flag here is your username.
Choose wisely.
Yes. Ideally, make it your brand name if you can, because apparently that's not something you can easily change down the line. Then just verify it.
Okay, simple start, personal first, business second.
That's the flow. Next, you set up your Snapchat business account. You do this through the Snapchat Business Manager web or app. Enter your business name, country, currency, time zone, click Create Business. Boom, foundation laid.
Is that the public profile you mentioned before?
Not quite. That's step 3. After the business account, you create your public business profile. You find that option inside the Ads Manager. This is where you build out what people actually see.
Okay, the public-facing bit.
Exactly. Contact info, bio, logo, hit create profile, and now your brand has a discoverable presence on Snap, and you can post those public stories and stuff.
Got it. Business account backend. Public profile front end. So last step to actually run ads.
Final core setup step. Set up your Snapchat ad account. Again, in Ads Manager, go to Ad Accounts, click New Ad Account, fill in advertiser details, billing, maybe set a spending cap if you want, add your payment method. And importantly, they advise linking this ad account to your new public profile. Makes things smoother.
Makes sense. And what about teams, if multiple people need access?
Yeah, good point. The material mentions the business manager lets you assign different roles and permissions to team members, so you can collaborate easily or give agency access, that kind of thing.
Okay, so setup seems manageable. Once you're in, what does the material suggest for actually making it work? Best practices.
Yeah, it shifts to strategy then. A big one is post consistently. Don't just set it up and forget it. Use stories, spotlight your public profile posts, and mix it up behind the scenes stuff, product demos, maybe user-generated content if you get some. Keep it fresh.
Stay active, stay varied. Got it.
And they really double down on using those AR lenses and filters.
Back to those again.
Yeah, because creating those branded AR experiences isn't just fun. It's highlighted as a key way to get organic reach. People play with them, share them with friends. It's like free advertising if it catches on.
Right, turning your brand into something interactive. What about driving immediate action like sales?
For that, the material points to things like flash sales and swipe-up offers. Use the temporary nature of stories, maybe create that FOMO fear of missing out.
The urgency tactic.
Exactly. And use those swipe-up links and ads to send people directly where you want them. Product page, sign-up form, whatever.
Building the audience to see all this.
A simple but important one. Cross-promote your Snap code. That unique QR code thing. Put it everywhere. Website footer, email signature, other social bios. Make it easy for existing followers to find you on Snap, too.
Good point. And then closing the loop with analytics.
Absolutely. The core message is track, optimize, repeat, use the analytics tools, see what's hitting, what's missing, which posts get engagement, which ads drive sales, which audiences respond. Then do more of what works. It sounds basic, but it's crucial.
Solid advice for any platform, really.
Okay.
There was something else in the material, something about free money. Ad credits.
Well, sort of. Yes, they detail some pretty significant ad credit offers, framed as a way to really encourage new advertisers in 2025.
Okay, tell us about these. This sounds like the juicy part.
There are two main ones mentioned. First, a premium offer. If you spend $350 on ads,
Okay.
you get a bonus $375 in ad credit.
Wait, you get more back than you spend.
That's what the material says for that tier.
Yeah.
Positioned as great if you're ready to test at a slightly larger scale.
That's, yeah, very generous. What if $350 feels like too much to start?
There's a starter offer, too. Spend just $50.
$50.
Okay.
And you get a $75 bonus credit, so still more than doubling your initial test budget, highlighted as perfect for small budgets or just, dipping your toes in.
Wow. Okay, how do you actually get these? Is it complicated? Codes, forms.
Seems refreshingly simple, actually, based on the description. You need a brand new ads account, your first one.
Okay, for first-timers.
Right. Then, within 14 days of creating it, you launch a campaign and spend that minimum, the $50 or the $350. Once you hit that spend, the bonus credit, the $75 or $375, just gets added automatically, usually within a business day.
No code needed.
No code needed mentioned. The only thing is you have to use that bonus credit within 30 days or it expires.
Use it or lose it? Still, that's incredibly straightforward. Why does the material push these so hard?
Well, the benefits are pretty obvious, right? It massively boosts your ROI upfront free ad spend. It lets you test more things, different creatives, different audiences, because you have more budget to play with. Crucial for learning.
And fundamentally, it makes it really low risk to try Snapchat out. Your actual cash outlay is minimal to get a decent test going.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Did the material give examples of who might use this, like specific types of businesses?
Yeah, touched on a few, like affiliate marketers using swipe ups and maybe AR for engagement, bloggers building their audience with public profiles, maybe running sponsored stories, SaaS companies maybe using AR for quick product demos or definitely using the Snap Pixel for retargeting people who visited their site, and media buyers just benefiting from being able to test campaigns really fast and scale winners using those credits. So if we kind of tie all this together, connect it to the bigger picture the material presents, the main point seems to be that Snapchat in 2025 is, well, something you should seriously look at.
Right.
It's not just growing, but the tools for businesses have really matured. They're robust, effective, especially if you want to reach those younger demographics.
So what does this all mean for you listening? I mean, the case made here for its relevance is pretty strong. And that accessibility factor, that $5 minimum, those ad credits, it really lowers the barrier to just trying it.
Feels like they're actively trying to get businesses to experiment, doesn't it?
It really does.
Exactly. So thinking about those ad credits and the whole emphasis in the material on testing and optimizing, maybe a final thought for you to consider is this. With that bonus ad spend basically on the table, how could you use it? Could you maybe test that one creative idea you've had or target that niche audience segment on Snapchat you've wondered about but haven't had the budget or maybe the nerve to try elsewhere? It feels like the material is pointing to this as a unique, low-risk window of opportunity.
That's a great question to leave people with. A fantastic way to think about it. Well, thanks for walking us through all that, and thanks to you for joining us on this deep dive into the findings on Snapchat for Business in 2025.